spring break was interesting as far as news goes. Another day, another corporation trying to screw us over. This time, which I feel like has been like Walmart's notorious for its like ghetto-ness, being unorganized. Obviously prices are cheaper, but it comes like at a cost. But they're lately though, when we've gone into the Walmart, they've stepped up their game as far as like clothing goes. I feel like they're trying to do like a Target kind of vibe, but it's just never gonna be Target.
Yeah.
Um, but they're just always trying to see how they can like make more money. And we all know that, you know, years back the meme was like all those cash registers and like there was never any cashiers. Like
Hmm.
so what was the point of all those registers being if only like 3 or 4 were going to be open, especially like at the super centers.
Oh, for a while there, yeah,
Yeah,
it
like remember it
became.
was like kind of like the meme. It's like you already know. It's like so then the lines would back up, right? Um Corporations, they're always trying to cut corners all the time. Trying to save like money. Regardless of the profits that they're saying that they're getting every quarter. They're just
Hmm.
like, no, we need to make more money. It's not enough. So their whole plan with that was like, right, we hear you guys, so many registers. So the solution for that on our end was self checkout. You don't have to wait in those lines to have the like cashier do it. You can go ahead and just do it yourself, which cut back on payroll because then they don't have to have someone working it, right? What they didn't take into account for was that people were going to be like, oh, so I'm having to like scan and bag my own shit. Now I'm going to like, what is it, 5 finger discount? Like, because think about it. We've replaced an employee for them. They're getting free labor off of us by us bagging our own stuff, right? Of course, people are going to feel like, no, I need to get paid, right? So then they're losing millions of dollars that way, right? So what they were trying to like save by not hiring enough cashiers, they like triple lost that through the self checkout. Now their solution for that is a subscription service to use the self checkout. So it'll be $98 a year or $12.98 a month in order for you to use their self checkout. I don't know if that also goes into account for the cashier aspect of it or if it's just for the self checkout because they're really pushing their app this time around, like because they're doing like the free delivery, like you pay for it and you get free delivery of groceries. Supposedly you don't have to pay for that like fee. So they're really trying to push these like subscriptions on us, like another way for them to like make up for loss of money or like merchandise, I guess.
What I'm wondering is, so that actually worked to falsely scan something as something else,
I don't.
or does that make sense? I didn't say that right, but to scan an item as something else. I know I've seen those videos and memes, but I'm like, but you guys are kidding, right? Like that doesn't actually work.
Not like that. It's well, I've also seen those memes, so I don't think it's like unless you like work there. That's the only thing I could think of that you would know how to like switch those codes around. It's more of like, oh, I just won't scan some of my items, like because remember in the beginning they didn't have the cameras right at the front. Now they do. Like at the little like self checkout thing, there's a camera now. So it's like recording everything you're doing, right? So even if they don't catch you in the moment, you're on camera now. They didn't used to have that in the beginning because that's why there was like the person they're watching to make sure you weren't doing that. So you could just like pass it or not scan something like, especially something that's like at the bottom of the cart,
Yeah.
you know, walk out with a case of water, like a free case of water,
Oh, I see.
it was more like that.
But my thing is like, because they've had so checkout for over a decade now. I like to say because I remember when they first came out. I honestly thought that it wasn't going to work just
Same.
because they well, and I know you said that the joke was that why do you have all these cash registers and not employees on them? Uh, but I remember a time where they were all filled.
Mm.
So I thought whenever they came out with the self checkout was that they purposely didn't have people at the cash registers to make us complain and then say, well, here's the solution because they wanted the whole plan was to do that.
Right.
Like, oh, self checkout. That's how we're gonna sell it. We're not just gonna put it out there with all these cash registers. Like I think just like every corporation does, they'll do something to make you complain about it and then say, well, here's the solution, right? When the problem didn't even need to be there to begin with. It just didn't. They're just always finding a way, like you said, to come up with ways to make more money and screw us over, and make us want something that we don't necessarily need, but for greed, they must succeed and feed the machine like over and over
Well,
again.
I think they try and push it like convenience. It's always like it's a convenience fee. So like, oh, you don't want to stay in the line. Like first of all, I think they just started seeing like, all right, we're getting through them quick, but we're payroll's coming out really expensive in order to have all those registers open. And they're like, oh, well, when it's not busy, it's like seems pointless to have like somebody at the register, right? That was how they were going to like, in their head, they were going to like pitch it to us. Like, so then, right, it's a waste of money on our end. So then we'll like eventually phase in the self checkout. So if you don't want to wait in the long lines, you can like go and do it yourself, and not have to wait in there. But what they weren't taking into account was that people are going to be like, right, well, you guys aren't monitoring this because there's not a cashier there. So I'm just going to, not scan everything. How are you guys going to know?
Yeah. It's really stupid though, like cuz again, it's been the longest that this is self checkout has been in place. And now you're going to come out with a subscription? Like, and I see what you're saying like, oh, supposedly for losses, like I have to call bullshit on that. Like again, it's just like a bullshit reason. And if that was the case, then you should have just kept the registers open.
Yeah,
Like
but they're like, well, we already saw that like this will work, right? So we're not gonna go back and like have it how it was when everywhere else around them is start like the grocery store. It's right here. It's not even like big enough to be like be considered a corporation. Has a self checkout thing now,
yeah,
and it's essential. Like
yeah.
like they. I feel like how they're pitching is like, well, we're not gonna go back in time, So this is like the step forward, as far as like advancing.
I like to think like it came around when minimum wage increased, from 5.25 to 7.25,
Mm-hmm.
and they said, "Oh hell no, we can't have that. We got to save some more money." Uh, it's just stupid the whole
Well,
idea of
it's like
having a
it's
subscription.
it's bullshit because it's funny because like a lot of Walmart employees qualify for government benefits because they don't get paid enough. They pay them enough to where they still qualify to get on food stamps.
Damn. Again, it's just being greedy. Like this is so stupid, and I hope no one does it. Like I just really hope that no one does it. But since we accepted self checkout,
Mm-hmm.
I can't help to wonder that someone will or a lot of people will do it after all, and
Yeah.
then other companies are gonna see that and say, "Hey, we're gonna do the exact same thing," and there we go. It's our own fault again.
Yeah,
Like,
because I think even Target was talking about doing it. And as far as with that, I feel like a lot of people are just gonna like even though they're gonna complain. That's as far as it's gonna go. As far as like they're not gonna do anything about it and not gonna take a stand. Like again, because like convenience. Like they're just like, oh, let's just do it, and they're not thinking about the effect of what that's gonna do long term. Like because like I see a lot of influencers. They already have deals with Walmart, and they're like pushing the app, like and like saying like, oh, like we pay the, which is the same, the $12.98, right? That was just for like the, because it's Walmart Plus is what it's called. That's what it's called, right? So that uh now they're like, she's like, oh, why pay that and I don't have to pay the delivery fee? But I'm like, technically you are, because you're paying the monthly
Yeah.
subscription. Like, because even like at, I want to say like at Pizza Hut, they have like a delivery fee and it's like $2 or $3. So I'm like, even if you get it delivered like once a week, you've already paid for that, because like the delivery fee isn't the fee isn't that high,
Hmm.
And I'm just like, and a lot of it, like with the when the groceries are getting delivered, it's why, for convenience, because you're like, oh, I don't want to have to go to the store, like I don't want to be with all the people.
That's always funny to me because I like to think that's what people are saying, but then their actions show different. It's just because, like, as much as people want to be in the know, they're complaining about being in the know and the timing that it takes. Like, uh, I was just gonna say, what about the 15 items or less lanes? Are those still gonna be there? Because, like, if your whole thing is that, oh, I want to be in and out, then don't get more than 15 items. Like, if you're going grocery shopping, you should know that it's gonna take a while because you're gonna get a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, um, and again, just don't do the subscription. Like, but it's like you said, people are gonna find that that's faster, so they're just gonna wind up doing it. And on top of it, because you're saying now they have delivered to come with it, so it's like either way they're gonna pay for it. Because
Right.
it's like, well, I can just not go to the store anymore, even though I'm paying for that. I'd just rather have it delivered. So it's a
Oh,
win-win. For Walmart. Because yes, you're right. There's a population that is not gonna want to go and have it delivered instead, but yet they're paying for something that if they were to go, they're gonna use that service because they already have it already
right,
to begin with.
right,
So like, might as well.
right.
So there you go. Like, other companies are gonna follow suit.
Well, yeah,
Like,
and their Walmart's having influencers push it, so like it's targeting moms, like because a lot of these are like moms, and the one in particular I'm talking about, she's a single mom, so it's like, she does like the cute little ad. She's like, oh, like I realized I was out of this, but I don't want to have to, like, we're in the middle of playing, so I'm just gonna have like Walmart, and then like like what, an hour later they're knocking, like, see, like I didn't have to like stop what I was doing, and now I have the ingredient, like they're pitching it that way, so of course,
also because it's no longer 24/7, right?
no.
That's been long gone for now, right?
Yes, I think
Okay.
maybe the latest some of them are, it's like midnight,
Yeah.
maybe. Which they took advantage of that during the pandemic to just be like, right, we're shutting a lot of shit down, a lot of it down.
Damn.